Hello everyone, Odedex here. Welcome to episode 121 of S02E121 Let's Play. So, in the previous episode, I started creating a system that will eventually let me automatically craft alvearies. And I basically took care of everything related to honey and seed oil, basically creating the recipe for impregnated casings and seed oil and honey. Now, off screen I was thinking about the seed oil production and actually noticed that if you pay attention, because of the priority of making seed oil is using pumpkin seeds first, my pumpkin seeds reserve has actually gone down dramatically. Like if you look at how many melons do I have, like 1600, I had roughly the same number with pumpkins. However, now pumpkins I have 900. So what I'd like to do is actually slightly change the recipe here. So I'm going to take one pumpkin seed, one melon seed, and also one normal seed. And I'm going to slightly change the way they work, the way the priorities work. So also one of these seeds, and take one seed oil can from here. Let's take an empty one from here, and a full one from here. And again, just create a small new recipe that will be higher priority. And I'm not sure why haven't I done this before, but this one will be a combination of all three types of seeds. So the first priority will be a combination of all of them, and then only then change to something else. Why am I not making any blank patterns? What's the problem? What am I missing? Something is wrong. Maybe glowstone? Or am I short on glowstone? No. Why is it not making any blank patterns? Okay. Is it trying to macerate or something? Quartz? No. Okay, let's try removing. Yeah, it's trying to make 21 of those things, but it's not. Am I out of power or something? No. Okay, this is weird. Left shift plus click the item to cancel a job. Okay, so I'm canceling jobs, Okay, let's try again. Craft just one then. Okay, now we got it. That was some weird stuff going on there. Something to keep in mind that actually the version running of Applied Logistics at the moment on this pack has been updated several times before, so I guess some of those weird issues and features are available in the newer versions. Okay, so let's create a new pattern to create a seed oil can. So that will obviously use one can. And let's go for the ratio of, basically I'm going to need a combination of 50 of those. Now melon seeds are what I have most of. So let's go for let's say I'm going to ask for 20 of those. And since I'm relatively low on pumpkins and I like having normal seeds, I'm going to ask for 15 of each. So a total of 50 seeds, of course. It doesn't matter which combination, they all yield the same amount of seed oil. Paste that recipe and let's change the order here. So let's make it the first priority, and let's also make melon the second one. So I'm going to move the pumpkin to the third slot, the normal seeds to the last slot, and this one to the first. And now with those changes in place, first priority being the combination of seeds, it will always be crafted first if it can, and if it can't, it will try to go for the second, third, and the last priority. So obviously there is some internal buffers here. I'm actually going to clear all of them. Yeah, it's kind of... Okay, let's get rid of this as well. Okay, let's clear the entire buffer and reset the crafting thingy. Well, I didn't clear everything, but I cleared most of it. The thing is that every time I craft something else, it kind of forgets that it's in the middle of crafting this, and then it sends the materials again. So this is kind of a weird thing. Let's do something quickly. Okay, let's quickly change this thing to be active with a signal. Basically, since there isn't signal, it won't do anything. Let's clear all the internal buffers, or actually it's going to need to finish this process first, and I have no clue how much it actually has. That's annoying. And clear the crafting thingy, the thing that's being crafting at the moment, so it forgets about it. Okay. Let's actually find a way to even this out some way. Okay, so I'm placing seeds one at a time. I just would like to get to the state where it's perfectly evened out, like it's either crafting something or it's completely empty. I don't like to have this. There we go. Okay, so now it's completely empty. Let's restore the status of this to be always active. So it should start crafting again. There we go. And yeah, I'm gonna let it run. So you can see now it pushes the melon seeds and the normal seeds instead. Kind of the combination of all three. There we go. Melons is being 20, then 15 and 15, and then it will keep crafting like this. Now, if at any point in time it's gonna have a problem with supplying either of the three, it's gonna try to use a lower priority recipe using 50 of each. Now, the ideal thingy would be to kind of always keep all three seeds in an even state, but it probably can be done, but I genuinely am not exactly sure on how to even address that kind of problem, so yeah. Okay, so finally the last stage of the alveari crafting is the actual alveari crafting. So let's see what that entails. So in terms of impregnate casing, my system already knows how to craft that. So let's take a look at the scented paneling. So I'm going to need beeswax, I'm going to need pollen, and I'm going to need royal jelly, and I'm going to need wood. All four products are things that are always in my system. Wood is definitely not a problem. Basically, my pollen, my royal jelly, and my beeswax are the actual kind of problem, so to speak. And I only want to craft alvearies when I have enough materials to craft a set of 27 blocks, which are basically the 27 blocks composing the alveari, 3 layers of 9. So, in terms of numbers, that means I'm going to need to wait until I have at least 216 pollen, 216 royal jelly, and 432 beeswax. So that means I'm going to check my system and wait until there are only 3 of them, and only then craft one. So let me try and figure out a way on how actually I want to get this done. Alright, so I've expanded this small area right here because I'm going to use it. So let's get started. I'm going to try and build this. As I've said previously, this entire project isn't something that I've planned beforehand. I kind of did this in my mind, but I didn't really plan any of this. So it's kind of all trial and error. We'll see how that turns out. Okay, so I'm going to need some cables. I'm going to need an export bus. I'm going to need a level emitter, and I'm going to need an end gate. I'm going to need just one. Let's take all 4. Okay, good enough. Okay, so let's do something like this. Actually, also I'm going to need a sample of each of those products. So I'm going to need, actually I'm also going to need 1 alveari block. Okay, let's do it backwards, and let's first set up the recipe that teaches my system how to craft alveari blocks. Later I'm also going to get rid of everything that's going on here. It's no longer will be necessary. It's just taking up room that I can simply place an alveari there instead. Do I happen to have any impregnated casing somewhere? I don't think I do. Actually I do. Okay, so let's take a blank pattern. Let's craft a bunch and teach my system how to craft everything. So in order to craft an alveari block, you're gonna need 8 of those and this. Whoops. Like this. And of course teach that to my system, and actually also going to craft one. So craft just one. And now that I have that, actually did not quite think about it yet. This is a lot more problematic than I thought, because when dealing with applied logistics, the only thing that you can deal in terms of numbers are level emitters. Like only level emitters can deal with numbers. Anything else is either stack or one single item. Like when you're doing with export buses, you cannot set up numbers. You can only set export buses or numbers. So this is why actually, okay, I'm gonna need a little bit more time to think about that. Okay, let's just get started, see how that turns out. I just realized that whenever I'm thinking about it and not actually building it, it's not helping anyone. So I'm going to actually see this happening in real time. So let's do that then. Okay, so let's start by creating the conditionals. So let's have a level emitter here, here, and here. Let's rotate this quickly, so it will all look nicely to the same place. And right here, I'm going to have my end gate. And you can already assume what I'm actually going to check. I'm going to check if I have 216 where is it? I actually forgot to bring them. Okay, let's use the wireless stuff. I'm gonna need some pollen, and I'm gonna need some royal jelly, and I'm gonna need some beeswax. Beeswax is actually not a problem. When you think about it, pollen is the only real problem, but we'll see. Okay, so if I have 216 pollen, emitted redstone signal. If I have 216 royal jelly emitted redstone signal, and if I have 432 beeswax emitted redstone signal. At the moment I have all of them, so you can see it's emitting a redstone signal, but if I start taking out pollen out of here, like this, and I drop below this, the signal goes off. Okay, so that's working. So let's dump this back in here. Okay, so if I have the redstone signal, and I want to check for one more thing, and I have, let's just set it, and I also have less than, where is my wrench? Like this. And I want to check for this signal, so let's disable the left signal. Why is it not doing anything? Oh, that's the Omni wrench. I need a screwdriver. Okay, disable this signal. There we go. And this one will check. It will emit a redstone signal when I have less than 27 alveari blocks. Right? Right. No, wait, that's still kind of derpy. It's not going to work. Okay, so I'm going to try something else. I'm going to keep trying things until every time I'm building something until I realize there is a problem. Okay, so basically this contraption checks whether or not I have enough materials to create the alveari, the entire alveari. So when that happens, I want to use a state cell. Where is my state cell? Let's just craft one. So take one state cell, and it's going to trigger. Is it the right trigger? Yep, but I want to rotate this. Okay, like this. So this is the signal that I'm looking for. This is a signal that says keep building, start building, or I don't know, start crafting. But also from the back, I'm gonna keep locking the signal. So it only be locked. The locking will only make sense, of course, when there is the actual signal. Because if I turn one of those off, yeah, only then the locking takes place. But the locking itself doesn't do anything until there is an actual signal. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So the locking will take place up until the point when I have 27 alveari blocks. Emit when I'm below 27. And when that redstone signal exists, start exporting alveari blocks. Let's just do it like this. On redstone signal, craft only alveari blocks into here. And this of course will be connected. Can I just, let's just place it here and do this. Okay, does it make sense? I'm gonna need to actually check. Okay, what's happening in the system right now? Is it creating alveari blocks? Am I creating alveari blocks? Okay, I'm getting something. Is something being crafted? I'm gonna need the crafting monitor right here. Okay, an alveari block is being crafted. I'm not really sure at what stage is it in. What is this squeezer doing? This one's creating honey. And this one... I have no clue at what stage am I in. This one creating honey, and this carpenter is doing this. Oh wait, I haven't actually added the recipe to add scented paneling. Herp, derp. Okay. So this is here. I've actually hadn't yet added the scented paneling recipe, so that's kind of derpy of me. I'm going the carpenter to do that, not the squeezer. Let's quickly get the carpenter. Okay, that was actually very derpy of me. Forgot to set up the actual recipe itself. So let's go for the same setup right here. So that carpenter will always be filled up with honey from the top. So I'm gonna go for pretty much exact same recipe. So I'm going to need an export bus on the top, which will be either crafting or moving, whatever it can do, and it's gonna be doing this for honey. So let's get a honey capsule in here and tell that this, it's always on. And I'm gonna need the relay with the recipe that says, okay, so I'm actually going to need to paste the recipe first. So let's print it. So the recipe looks like this. This here, and this here. And okay, it's gonna, oh wait, I forgot to place some power. That will be a good idea. Whoops, wrong power. Okay, so it has power now. And it's going to need to have some honey before it can actually recognize the recipe, but that's the recipe, right? Let's make sure. Scented paneling. Yep, that's the recipe. So that's pushing honey from the side. I'm going to need a relay. Let's actually set up the recipe first. So with the blank pattern, do I have one on me? Yep. The recipe says that if you give it 2 beeswax, let's even set up the recipe like this, pollen, royal jelly, and 3 birchwood, you get back 1 scented paneling. Paste that, and I'm gonna need a relay, just 1. Connect it from the side, like this, ME interface right here. Give it that recipe and connect it. And right off the bat it should start crafting it actually. Although it doesn't seem like it. What's the problem? Is the relay not really liking this? No, it is. So what's the problem? Did I turn this off? I forgot. No, I didn't. So what's the problem? Let's clear the crafting monitor again. Okay, now it's producing honey. It's looping between all of those three things. Okay, let's keep it on this then. Why is it not creating this? It's connected, right? Yeah, everything here is connected. Oh, it's definitely connected because it's pushing down honey. And it's creating some more honey here. Can I try and craft one scented paneling? Ooh, I have a ton of scented paneling. Does it actually require any? So can I craft an alveari block? No. Why not? I remember teaching the recipe here, which said that with 8 scented paneling and 1 impregnated casing you can get back this. So what's the problem? Is this looping? Oh, I need to go in craft only. Okay. And now it should be creating this. No. Right now it's attempting to create an alveari. Creating an alveari entails creating scented paneling and impregnated casing. Scented paneling are enough in the system. Impregnated casings are not. They should be trying to craft it from here, yet it doesn't. Everything here is connected, so what the hell is the problem? Let's try clearing the crafting monitor again. Yep, Endermen are having fun around my place. Let's try clearing this. So now it produces honey, although it doesn't really make sense. I think the problem is that since my system is also producing honey and oil at the same time, it's kind of having problem. Like it's kind of having a very large strain on the system. I don't know if that's it though. Well, an alveari block has been crafted just now, but I don't know what crafted it. I did not make any impregnated casing. So, where did that come from? Maybe I should let the squeezers do their job first, like finishing up with the honey and seed oil. I probably should do that. And actually I want to introduce the same recipe that I placed here, so it's going to use 5 of each, 5 honey and 5 honeydew, again to keep the levels of both items kind of the same. So let's actually quickly do that. Let's get 5 of each. You can actually see their numbers are even perfectly matched, so let's keep it that way. So 5 of those. I've got the honey can. I'm going to need 1 empty can. Yeah, the system starts to break down the moment you start adding too many crafting recipes all at the same time. It doesn't know what to do with itself anymore. Simply going crazy. Can I produce 1 can, please? Okay, now it's the first priority, but is it being crafted? No. Let's just steal some from here. There were a ton of spare here to begin with, so that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna probably have to start looking at this off screen. I really have no idea what's the problem. So yeah, let me quickly do that, start to realize what's the problem, where stuff gets clogged, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have a feeling I know what was the problem. Can clearly see I now have 9 alvearies, and I think the problem was because this thing was creating seed oil and it always kept trying to push seed oil down. It got to the point, not seed oil but seeds, it got to the point where the hopper here was full, and I think when the system tries to push an item out, but the receiving inventory is full, it gets crazy. So I unclogged everything, I removed a bunch of seeds from here, it seems to be doing fine. I also added this import bus here, which I actually forgot to add initially. And obviously also added the 5.5 honeydew honey drop thingy. Just a quick change that I'm making right now is actually change the timer here to last basically nothing. So after fifth of a second of not receiving a signal, it should be turning off. And I actually think I'd like to change one more thing, which is actually add one more AND gate to actually stop when I have exactly 27 alveari blocks. Because I don't want to create more than 27 at a time. Well, I wanted to create any multiplications of 27, like keep 27, 54, 81 going on. But I don't want anything in between, but I don't think I'm going to have any other choice, really. Except for turning it off at 27. Okay, I'm going to let it run a little bit more. Well, yeah, you can definitely see the carpenter starting to craft the impregnated casing, and you should be able to see this crafting. Oh no, it has a lot of scented paneling backlogged from my actual thing back outside, so it shouldn't actually do anything in regards to that. So in theory, my alveari blocks should be being produced. You can see it already went to 18. But the moment I hit 27, I want to stop. Now this won't be locked anymore, but it will still receive a signal if I have more than 216. So let's do that. Let's actually break this down quickly. Break this down, and I'm gonna need to move this away from here and get another AND gate. Actually, I have them on me. Right here. It's gonna need to be rotated. And turn off this signal. And I only want this to work when I have both this signal and also this signal, which says that I have okay, so basically in the same signal that I have here, basically exactly the same thing. I could do some redstone or red power alloy circuitry magic right here, but let's just use another level emitter and do exactly the same thing. So let's have, again, emit if I'm below the limit, below the 27 limit, and I'm gonna need one alveari block, just one, to sample that. And you may be asking yourself, okay, what's the point here? What's the point of this circuitry? And I'm going to explain just one bit. Hopefully I won't confuse myself as well, but okay, now that I'm checking for all of those signals, it's going to craft into this thing. It's going to export an alveari block on the craft only mod, and it's going to do it active with the signal, and it's going to be connected, of course. Okay, so it should now continue crafting. It should continue crafting. I want to see it stops at 27 though. So this should be doing something, or this. One of those should be doing something. Am I clogged again? Yep. See, that's the problem. Every time this thing gets clogged, the entire system breaks. So let's take stuff out. Okay, it should be fine now. Alveari. Okay, there we go. 27, and the AND gate should be turned off. There we go. Nice. This is what I was looking for. Okay, so after all my mumblings and rumblings and different kinds of and all those kind of things, let me explain what's going on. So first I'm checking whether or not I have the materials to create 27 alveari blocks. If I do, the system sends a signal to this state cell. This state cell then gets locked until it has 27 blocks, and this is the reason why I'm using 2 of those here. Basically, I'm using the signal twice because this makes sure that it will be locked. The signal will be locked, telling it not to stop crafting until I have 27 blocks. But then this AND gate will be turned off if I have 27 blocks to make sure that I don't craft any more than that. So that means that my system will always keep a set of alveari blocks, a set of exactly 1 alvear, basically 27 alveari blocks available at all the time. And whenever I take those alveari blocks out, the set of 27 blocks, it should start crafting again. So this signal goes again, it goes through this AND gate, and it will start crafting again. It will have some weird issues. If I now drop those inside, you will have some weird bounce backs and backlogs and stuff. But overall it should be fine. It will be even better once I have a nice back buffer of seed oils and honey, because right now those are being clogged quite often. But overall it should be working fine now. And there you have it. That was actually, it ended up being a very complicated thing. This is actually a lot more complicated than I thought it's going to be. But overall it's fine. The ideal thing that I would like to have is pretty much the same logic, but instead of keeping 1 set of alveari blocks, keep a multiplication of sets of alveari blocks. So again 27, 54, so on, going on. Okay, hope you guys got it. It's not being too confused, but overall the final result is that I'm now resupplying myself always with a set of an alveari blocks. So at any given point in time, if my system could produce it, I'm gonna have a set available of alveari blocks being prepared to be built. And it's already working on the next set because again, I had the materials. They were available and it's creating them. Alright, so as always, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.